Hi everyone, it's Joel from 8400 Lights, and today I thought I would show you how I troubleshoot and repair LED string lights. Now, I like to test all of my light strings both when I put them away at the end of a season as well as when I get them out for the next season. What I've noticed, especially with the LEDs, is that it's not uncommon to have failures that occur while they're in storage. So when I got this particular set out this year, I plugged it in, and lo and behold, here I have half the strand works and half the strand is out. So I thought I would do a little video on how to repair this. Now before we get started, I thought I would take just a moment to talk about how LED strings are different than the Incan mini strings that we've all used in the past. Now both LEDs and Incans are wired in what's called series wiring. And this simply means that the current flows into one bulb and out of that bulb, into the next bulb, out of that bulb, into the next bulb, and so on and so on and so on throughout the entire string of lights. If one bulb fails, then the whole circuit fails. All of the bulbs fail. Now with these old style Incan mini lights, they have a little shunt in them that is supposed to keep the circuit connected if the bulb actually burns up. Most of the time it actually works. There's some of the times it doesn't, which is why we've all seen these Light Keeper Pros where you take a bulb out, connect this in, squeeze the trigger a couple of times, and lo and behold, it can bring your string of lights back to life again. With an LED string, most of these do not have those shunts in them, so that if one LED goes out, then the whole part of the string goes out. I have seen some new LED sets that are starting to come on the market that are claiming to keep the rest of the string up and running if an LED bulb does come out, so it sounds like they are developing the shunt technology for LEDs. But my strings are older to the point where they don't have that. So let's get started. I'm going to set my volt-ohm meter to 200 volts AC. This is the United States, and we have 120 volt line current. And I'm going to take one of my meter probes and insert it into the end of my main plug here. It doesn't really matter which probe or which side at this point in time. We'll just pick one. And then what I want to do is go to the first bulb that is not lit. So that would be this one right here. And again, if we see the wiring, if we look at this, we've got two wires between the bulb that's lit and the first bulb that isn't working. One of the wires continues on, and one of the wires goes into the bulb. So if we look at this wire that comes into this bulb as kind of our in wire, and then there's a couple of other wires that are coming out. One of them ties into this first in wire, and the second one goes on to form the series nature of our light string here. If we think of this first wire as the in wire, we're going to be looking for voltage on this wire throughout the string. So we'll go ahead and take this first bulb out, and that's where these little wire cutters come in handy. Pop that out. And I'm going to take my other meter probe and just check the connection on the inside of the socket. There's a little plate, and I'm going to measure 122 volts. So that's good. So I'm going to put this LED back in the socket, because again it's a series circuit, so nothing downstream will work without that in it. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mark right here that I have current. So I could start testing each individual bulb to see if there's current at that bulb to find which one is burned up. But that would take a long time and is kind of inefficient. So instead, I'm going to do a little bit of an adapted search algorithm, and I'm going to find the middle of this section that is not working, which ends up being this bulb here. And now we will test for current at this bulb. And we'll pull it out, And we'll check the inside, the incoming side of the socket for current. And I don't see anything. Now, LED lights are directional sensitive, meaning that the current only flows in one direction across the LED. So I might not have current here at this point, or my probes might just need to be switched so that I can get the right current flowing across. So we'll go ahead and switch my probes out and test again for current. And I have no current. So we'll put our LED back in, and then we'll take our other marker and we'll go ahead and mark this socket to say that I have no current here at this socket. So what does that tell us? Well, that tells us that our problem is between this socket here and this socket here. So again, we'll find the middle, hopefully. Which is about right here, and we'll test for current here at this point. And here we have 106, which is pretty good, because we'll drop a little bit of current as we go along here. So I will take my first marker and move it up to this socket here, which now tells me that our problem is between here and here. So again, we'll find the midpoint, which is right here. Take that LED out and test to see if we have current. And we have no current here. Put that back together, and we'll move our second marker down to this socket. So now we've just isolated our problem to one of these three LEDs right here. This one, or this one. So we'll just test this next one. And we have current here. Put that back together. And we'll test this one. And we have no current here. So what does that tell us? Well, we had current coming into this socket, but we didn't have any current coming into this socket. So again, with the series wiring, if this LED burns out, then there won't be any current flowing over to this next socket. So this is our bad LED. So we'll go ahead and pull it back out and replace it with a different LED. So hopefully when I plug this in, this will fix our problem and our lights will turn on and light up. And voila! So we have successfully fixed this light string, testing only a few bulbs to find our burned out one and restored it to working status. Now I should note that this particular technique does not work for sealed light strings where you can't take the bulbs apart like this. For that you have to use another technique, use an LED Keeper Pro, etc. to try to find and diagnose issues with sealed light strings. But I hope you found this video helpful and informative, and please watch our other videos. Thanks! Bye-bye.